Welcome to your Magic Moon message. This is the Peace Dealer on my way to the post office. Got a lot of documents to print out. It's time to make my move. I'll keep silent about them as much as a Gemini can. The moon is in Cancer and the sun is in Virgo. You might, as the moon is transiting Jupiter and Cancer, feel the expansion of those who are unable to manipulate you and bend your perception to their philosophy. Because ultimately, without manipulation, without illusions, and without deception, they're really just weak, stupid little bitches punching their face in the air because they will never necessarily have the grounding and foundation that you have at your core. This is ultimately really just a world run by souls and, of course, a war over your soul. So, with that being said, as we conclude this Virgo season transit, I want you to right now clap for yourself. I would, but I'm holding documents. I want you to pat yourself on the back. I want you to clap for yourself. You have at present finally put yourself in a position where you are completing the establishment of behavioral patterns that, connected to this eclipse, will shape the way you behave and what you believe for the next 5 to 10 years. Eventually, the North Node will be back in Virgo, and it's going to revisit changes of your habits that you began to apply today. So this is going to, given its 300-degree signature, enable you to feel, relative to this shift of your lifestyle, who belongs around you, who belongs in your social circle that helps add to these changes of behavior versus those who kind of get in the way of that. That will be more specific for Virgo risings and Virgo suns, but given that that's the signature we have with this Cancer moon, you are feeling the rewards of 3.5 weeks of developing new habits. Whether you really did any work to activate new habits or not, mainly your habits are changing anyway. It's habitual and it's something that happens regardless of the zodiac sign, but of course very significant during a Virgo season. Based on tropical, we don't do that sidereal bullshit. All right, no offense to those of you who use sidereal. I'm not gonna say it's bullshit when you use it, because there's a way. Some people know how to use sidereal, especially with tropical. But yeah, we do not mistake constellations for zodiac signs, and we don't spread that useless misinformation over here. You see the sun? It's traveling upon a ecliptic path. It intersects with the Earth's celestial equator. That's how we get the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer. And most people who tell you otherwise sort these stupid conspiracy theories about stuff that's not tangible and can actually be mapped and measured, and they just start playing superiority as if people who actually follow the seasons and the science are just some Freemason controlled lapdogs. I'm not here to give you that bullshit. The moon is making a 300-degree angle in the zodiac sign of Cancer to the sun in the zodiac sign of Virgo, next to Mercury opposite a retrograde Saturn in Pisces, which in sidereal will also be in Pisces too. And the reason why that's very significant is we're getting ready for the great 180-degree opposition of the sun and Saturn that initially conjuncted back at March when we activated the North Node eclipse. So it's bringing into account 6 months worth of activating and integrating your beliefs so that once we end the week opposite Saturn, you are being tested around how these new activated behaviors with the second new moon in Virgo aligns with the belief systems you spent literally 6 months practicing in order to preach, or at least maintain some level of integrity towards it. And this is actually very exciting because as the moon is going to conjunct Jupiter in Cancer, what this serves to do is have you not only reinitiate this 28-day cycle, but feel the expansion of how your psychic body, the power of your mind and psyche, your emotions, are continuing to expand. The best way to look at these 28-day moon conjunctions to these outer planets is that from the time they conjunct, the planet is going to be moving forward or it's going to be appearing to move backwards during the retrograde, meaning there is a difference of degrees. For example, since the last 28 days, when in Leo season we had the moon in Cancer, or really, and at the end of Leo season, Jupiter has moved a certain number of degrees since last month. So the moon updating and conjuncting again is bringing you up to speed to Jupiter's progress since last month in Leo to now in Virgo. And then, of course, as it'll move forward after this conjunction, a few more degrees, next season during Libra season, we're going to, during that moon in Cancer, completing that transit, feel what the update of the difference of those degrees from maybe 21 to 23 before it retrogrades in Scorpio. So that's a really good way to look at moon conjunctions as the second hand. It's not really just conjuncting, it's taking into account how much we've grown relative to these short passages. Of course, time is relative. I'd like to think most things are. And why that's very significant is relative to this work you've done to really establish this new life, this new lifestyle, these new habits. You're going to really feel them breaking in. You're going to be feeling the rewards. Of course, what are the rewards to living a good life? You feel good. What are the rewards of having good habits? You feel healthy. So let this moon in Cancer help you understand, literally, based on how you feel, what maybe needs to change about your habits in order to maintain a good feeling. What maybe has to shift about your feelings in order to align them with these habits personally. Okay. So relative to that, why that's also very, significant and unique has a lot to do with the nature, of course, of the upcoming opposition to Pluto in Aquarius when the moon goes into Leo. And this is what I was talking about when I said the moon in Gemini is going to create a media storm, and it's going to really radicalize a lot more of what people think relative to the information that's coming out. And now that the moon is in Cancer, it's going to sink others deeper into delusions relative to their inability to accept certain facts and truths about situations around them. But it's also going to provide deeper insight for those who aren't fucking retarded and, actually acknowledge the truth. And this will really, of course, yes, I said that, the F word and the R word. This is going to, of course, prepare you very powerfully to strengthen the courage through Leo, opposite Pluto, in now harvesting the previous Moon-Pluto conjunction that we've had. The rest of this week is going to be really strange, and if you get caught up in distractions, you're going to really lose sight of the whole purpose of this eclipse, which, while society all around the world is changing in front of our eyes, massive protests, governments being overthrown in 2 days, the amount of events that happened on September 10th during that eclipse, you want to study that, especially over the next 6 months, because they signal the herald of change relative to the entire world, because Saturn, given its opposition in Pisces, is ending the old 30, 60, 90-year cycles. Is you woke? That being said, anybody who is still engaging in childish behavior, using others, or projecting their negativity on you is literally signaling that the hand they're playing is the hand of a weak-ass pussy bitch. This is why they won't necessarily operate in integrity with you, see you face to face, talk about their problems with you, hash them out like actual mature adults do, because they're fucking stupid. Now, let me be clear. I put this attitude out here. I'm not talking about anyone in particular. Nobody wants smoke with me. I'll tell you that right now. Plus, I don't even talk to anybody. I rarely leave the house. So I'm not saying this with somebody in mind. This is the energy I'm picking up. I'm speaking individually as if you watching are also an individual who will be experiencing a fair share of this, if at anything, in the air. I promise you no one wants smoke with me. That never ends well. And that's the attitude you want as well, because you have real life experience for the consequences of people who feel like they can play you. You who have been molded and chosen to really walk this path in order to be an example of what integrity looks like. If you at this point still don't know you are protected and you have otherworldly forces who fight in your favor, you might have to look deeper within, because the shit's been obvious since you were born. So do not allow extraneous external opinion from idiots who rely on worldly wisdom and this sense of ethos that doesn't even predate the creation of the universe to tell you anything about you that runs contrary to what truth has been revealed about you. Whether it's not scientifically supported, whether it's not commercially or socially accepted, it's better to be rejected than accepted by a bunch of people who live a lie. And these things sound abstract, but they're going to take more of a literal nature as we close out the week. You're dealing with a collective of influences who are fucking mad as shit that they cannot manipulate you, who have expected to treat you like a number and statistic, and you instead chose to walk the path of authenticity that expresses your core self, which is by design meant to piss many people off. It's not supposed to have you be accepted by everybody, because who the fuck wants to be accepted by everybody? It's weird. Not everybody is even gang or a good person. So keep that in mind as we wrap up this magical transit, integrating very powerful aspects into your behavior that is going to prepare you to apply all of the last 6 months into Libra season as we formally get ready to declare war. And you'll see that globally, socially, and individually. As far as the current events, use your own discernment to see how much you want to really allow distractions to distract you, and allow people to really just express their own lunacy through their talking points and think pieces and continue to snitch and expose themselves. The rest of this week is going to be filled with people snitching on themselves more than they've ever snitched on themselves, not even knowing they're snitching on themselves while they're snitching on themselves. So I think you can look forward to that. Pride makes people do the stupidest things and makes them think they're actually cool, and they ate with that. And we get to watch it all and laugh at their downfall. Now, that being said, this is also going to have you come in to massive rewards. The Jupiter and Cancer signature that the sun is making a Gemini signature to is having you express this evolution through the precision with which you express your habits. And now that the moon is having you understand that, I think you have a lot to look forward to. For example, I know very well, I won't say too much about this, but these documents I'm getting ready to get ready, let's just say I might become a very wealthy man very soon. But that being said, I do understand the wisdom of not speaking about your plans before you do it. And I only wanted to share this because it represents an establishing action towards the integrity of who I say I am. So I'm not just necessarily letting my words be words and my dreams be dreams. I'm literally doing it on my way to the fucking post office. This is like a federal building. Well, not the USPS. This is the UPS store. But yeah, don't give up on what you're doing. Don't allow others to enable weakness in you, but don't allow others to invoke fear towards what you've been called to do. All of which will be more clear as we get closer to the final new moon in Virgo. You guys stay blessed as always. And for those of you who've been doing the work, I made sure I woke up, I hit my morning workout, I walked, I did a ninja workout. I'm gonna just stay consistent with that and see where we go. The point here is not chasing results and really trying to work too much on performance versus really setting up a consistent basis, once again, of what you're really willing to commit to every day. And for those of you who've been doing that, look forward to enjoying the rewards of that. And as you understand, because the Cancer is psychic, Power of the psyche. As you feel more intangible quality of others' feelings towards you, it's going to reveal a deep-seated insecurity that you trigger just because you stand fully in who you are. So don't ever hold yourself back for a weak, stupid ass little bitch. You guys stay blessed as always, and until next time, peace, baby.